Join the conversation. Follow Jason on Twitter. And don't forget to visit the live show fan page on Facebook.
Moving right along. Let's talk about gun control. Here's another place where Hillary just absolutely lied through her teeth. And I want to share with you, because what have I always said? Anytime they want to take rights away from you, anytime they want to apply regulation, it's always done for what? To help you, to help the children. The we have to look after the children. It takes a village, according to Hillary. This is what she had to say about gun control.
Because I support the Second Amendment doesn't mean that I want people who shouldn't have guns to be able to threaten you, kill you or members of your family. And so when I think about what we need to do, we have 33,000 people a year who die from guns. I think we need comprehensive background checks, need to close the online loophole, close the gun show loophole. There's other matters that I think are sensible, that are the kind of reforms that would make a difference, that are not in any way conflicting with the Second Amendment.
You see, just because she supports the Second Amendment, and she does support the Second Amendment, just because she supports it doesn't mean she wants people with guns to be able to come in and kill you. Well, thanks, Hillary. I don't want that either. We actually have laws against that already that prevent that charge people with a crime if they come into your house and kill you. But you want to know what the best defense is against somebody coming into your house and trying to kill you? A gun? That's shocking, I know, but it's crazy. I have guns everywhere. There's guns in here right now. There's guns in my cars. There's guns in my houses. I stash guns everywhere. You never know where the guns are hidden. Because, frankly, you have to rely on yourself for the defense of your home, for the defense of your family. We train our kids on how to handle guns so that they're not afraid of guns, but they understand the danger. Now, she makes some ludicrous comments in there. They always talk about sensible or reasonable regulation. And she's going to talk in a minute about the Heller decision and how she disagreed with the way that the government, the Supreme Court interpreted the Second Amendment when it came to Heller. But she talks a little bit about the gun show loophole. Folks, there's no gun show loophole. There's no online loophole. People just assume that, what do you mean a loophole? Well, there's a workaround. What? Here's what she says the gun hole loophole is. So she wants you to believe that these gun shows that you go to, I don't know how, we have them all the time here. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's one this weekend, this last weekend. Or this weekend. It's this weekend. And you go to these gun shows. What she wants you to believe is you can go to these gun shows and you can buy any gun from anybody. There's no background check. You just go and flop the cash down on the table. You take your gun and you go. That is 150% not true. What the law allows for is that if you own a gun, you can sell the gun to someone else and you don't have to take them to the store to get a background check and pay for a background check in order to give that gun or sell that gun to them. That you, as a private citizen who own a gun, you can sell that gun to another private citizen and it doesn't require a background check. That is not a loophole. That is the ability of you to dispense with your property as you see fit. Now, if you go to anybody else, any manufacturer, any person who is in the business of selling firearms, you still have to get a background check. So if I go this weekend to the gun show and I show up and I want to buy a rifle from one of the dealers who's there, and it's the vast majority of the people there are dealers, then I have to get a background check. And they'll run one right there for me. This idea that there's a gun show loophole or that there's an online loophole, if I buy a gun online, guess where it has to get shipped?
To an FFL.
To an FFL. It's got to be shipped to someone who can do a background check before they give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurd. It's a lie. She uses these gun show loophole as though there's some sort of secret way that you can just show up at a gun show and buy weapons off the street that nobody knows. Oh, this one, yeah, this one's. I need one with the serial number scratched off. Do you have any of those?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes, I do.
Trust me, if there was such loophole, I would know about it.
Yeah. If there was a loophole, that's how I would buy all my guns. If there was a loophole like that, that's how I'd buy all my guns. This type of stuff just doesn't exist. But let me attack the 30,000 number. She says there are 30,000 people who die from gun deaths in America. And really, it's about protecting the children, as you'll find out in a minute, protecting the citizenry. So as many people die in car accidents as die from gun violence, she says. Well, let me break the numbers down for you. Let's break down that 30,000 number. Mass shootings, the Orlando-style shooting, the Columbine shooting, account for about 2% of all gun deaths a year. It's minuscule. You are more likely, as we said before, to die by semi-attack than by anything, than by a mass shooting at a place like Columbine or at a gay nightclub in Orlando. Darren may be more likely to die at a gay nightclub in Orlando than me, but he's very unlikely anyway. Now, 60% of that 30,000 are suicides. Those are people who take their own lives. They don't hurt anybody else. They just hurt themselves. Now, you can be against suicide, as I am. You can try and talk people out of it. But frankly, if somebody wants to take their own life, whose business is it to tell them they can't? And if they didn't have a gun, do you think all of a sudden they just stopped taking their lives? No, they just moved to knives or to hangings or some other method. So that 18,000 people roughly who commit suicide every year by using guns, that number would stay relatively the same. It would just shift from gun death to hanging death or to wrist-slitting death. 3% are accidental. So this 3%, this is where you get the child who finds the gun at home and ends up shooting their kid brother, or where some guy is playing around with his guns. Like you can go on YouTube and find these morons who are talking about guns, and then all of a sudden the gun goes off in the house. Well, oftentimes people are cleaning their loaded weapons because they don't know how to properly use their guns, and they end up killing themselves. And that would be considered not a suicide, but an accidental death. Now that leaves 11,000 deaths per year that are classified as homicides. 11,000 a year. Roughly a third of the number of people who die in automobile accidents. Now, of that 11,000, 50 to 80% are gang-related deaths. Let that sink in for a minute. It's just bad guys killing bad guys. You can say kids killing kids, whatever you want. But the idea that we have some sort of rampant problem in America with gun violence is just simply untrue. By her standard, we should reduce the speed limit to 10 miles an hour on the highway to try and get that 30,000. You are much more likely to die in half a dozen different ways than you are by gun violence in America. Now, the gun violence in America is higher than it is in, say, the United Kingdom because we have more guns. But this idea that what we need is what is sensible or reasonable regulation that she's in favor of, because she's a sensible and reasonable person, then we just need more of that, and that's what she's in favor of. As though Hillary Clinton gets to decide what is reasonable and what isn't. No, you and I decide what's reasonable.